Okay. Right off of here, right? So they'll be able to see us, right?
Yes, sir.
All right.
I see it now.
All right, great. Shalom. And tell everybody hit like. We in there. Okay. They can't disrupt us now. We going straight from YouTube real quick. And we were just talking about the disorder. Like either we get it together or a large number of our people will not make it through this. Will not make it through this. An order where there's a spiritual component connected with a political, social component. And they're reminded of that component from week to week of how what's going on in society will directly affect them. Not us. We're all over the place. Elder Lawyer, what you have? And I have Elder Gaja, you there? Gaja, you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Yeah, I can hear you loud and clear. So I'll bring you in a couple of moments before I bring in the phone calls, okay? All right. You can put it on mute real quick. All right, Elder Lawyer, what you have?
Yes, sir. A few references here. First, just dealing with the what you were mentioning as far as other people or other nations through their religious teachings are taught to remember the atrocities and the catastrophic things that will affect their nation. Just jumping real quick to the book of Exodus, chapter 17, verse number 14, where it says, "And the Lord said unto Moses, write this for a memorial in a book, and rehearse it in the ears of Joshua, for I will utterly put out the remembrance of Amalek from under heaven." Jumping down to verse number 16. "For he said, because the Lord have sworn that he will have war with Amalek from generation to generation." So this is an example of the Most High putting it in record that we are to remember a nation who have done harm to us in the past. Okay, this is what keeps a nation on track.
Exactly. I'm going to say this. It's not like you have to realize the governmental apparatus through this chaos, through chaos, have actually developed our trigger points.
Right.
Where we'll only rise up based on whatever fabricated social ill they say we should feel that we should feel it's important for us. They create that. Oh, cops shooting people. Well, no, that's not the issue for our people. That's not the hot button issue that should gather us and rally us for self-preservation. Mm-hmm. That's not it. Because like I mentioned earlier, if we come together according to the original order, we wouldn't have to worry about an enemy coming in and harming any of us. So they get these hot button topics and use the media to program it in our brains to a degree that we believe that now we need to stand up against the chaos they have created. And I use the example of this brother. You talking about economics, a brother who set up business to help our people in a time of a pandemic, only to have it desecrated and disrespected by the same people he built it for. So I don't want to hear no crap about that black man ain't this and black men ain't that. We tired of that crap. When we stand up, we only stand up to get undermined. To get undermined by the same people we're fighting for. Go ahead, Elder Lawyer.
Yes, sir. You still want it?
Yeah.
Government?
I need the government, yeah.
Yes, sir. Isaiah chapter 9, verse number 6.
Yep.
"For unto us a child is born.
Unto us a child is born.
Unto us a son is given.
A son is given.
And the government shall be upon his shoulders."
A government shall be upon his shoulders. So the threat this black child Christ was a threat to the government, the Roman government. That's why they sanctioned and agreed to kill him at birth, because he was bringing the government a moral standard outside of Satan's Roman government standard. And we're the people of that government. But where's our moral code at? And I need someone to call in. And I want someone to call in who's going to tell us the moral code. In particular, those who don't believe in the Bible. Because if we can't use the Bible laws to get on code with, someone need to give us the roadmap that can be more effective than the laws contained in the Bible. And whatever it is, guess what? It better happen quick. So if you're going to say the Bible isn't the way, you can't say the Bible isn't the way and not give us a clear path for unity that would cover moral, civil, dietary, what day of week we come together to discuss what's going on, all of that. How do we produce what's in the synagogues to discuss like the Jewish people do? The same time, sever the segment of our community who demoralizes our community. Because it wouldn't be amongst us, whoremongers wouldn't be amongst us. I hear something in there. Busybodies wouldn't be amongst us. Yeah. Liars couldn't be amongst us. Hustlers couldn't be amongst us. Drug dealers couldn't be amongst us. So now we have a moral code protected by a God who protects moral people. Now we can sit here amongst a trusted small unit to come up with life-changing solutions. I can't sit down with a brother just because he's articulate yet he's hitting his head on a rock talking about assalamu alaikum, hitting his head on the ground and hustling our people. Can't do that. I can't get with a guy who's running around talking about orishas and all that and pouring water out on graves and all this old crap. And then but the only thing we got in common is that he can point out what we all know, that the white man is ruling over us. No, I'm not going to be unified in solidarity with the white man has been violent against us. The Bible tells us that, guess what? Esau was made to be violent. I'm not going to unify amongst that. I'm going to go under the governmental guide the Most High have given us to learn how to navigate, understanding Esau have gotten everything through blood. Violence is part of his title. So I'm not going to I'm tired of nonviolence. Get out of here.
Right.
The white man look at nonviolence as a weakness.
Mm-hmm. Says, for by thy sword shalt thou live.
By thy sword thou shalt live.
That's how he survives.
So he's looking at nonviolence. Okay. Now I'm not saying to do violence, but I'm showing you how the enemy views that. The enemy views that as, okay, well, I'll continue the vaccines will be out next week. Oh, okay, that you'll get your shot next week. That's how the enemy thinks. But yet let me tell you, we said one thing. We was on a radio show just having a discourse about Judaism opposed to us being Israel. And guess what? Within 24 hours, I'm going to show you how on code they are. from the United States were able to contact the program director in Manchester, England. You're at the JDL and the ADL from the United States within 24 hours telling them that they need to pull the plug on anything that the Hebrews are talking about in England. How are they able to do that? They're under one belief and one code. And guess what? When they ring the bell and sound the trumpet, all of them hear the same message at the synagogue concerning an outside threat or ideology, which challenges their power. We can't have that because you got this one guy talking about he's a Moor, the other guy talking black history, another guy talking economics, another guy just a swindler going from city to city stealing from our people. The families are separated. There is no civility or any judicial system we have amongst each other to rule righteously and keep families together. So out there, I'm going to ask you, if getting on code with the Bible isn't the answer, what is? Go ahead, Elder Lawyer.
Yes, sir. Isaiah chapter 9, verse number 6. For unto us a child is born, and unto us a son is given, and the government shall be upon his shoulder, upon the throne of David, and upon his kingdom, to order it and to establish it with judgment and with justice.
With judgment and justice. You don't get justice marching in this country. The powers that be look at marching as a weakness. Unless it's under some type of solidarity order where all of us are in one mind and one understanding concerning right or wrong, like we were in the 60s. Here it is. You got all these people marching for black injustice. And now I'm looking at trans lives and women rights and all these people marching for all these different agendas. And you got the enemy looking at all these people divided, claiming to be in solidarity, not realizing they just created the whole thing so that you can all come and vote. So that you all be together so they can say, okay, vote for the Democrats. And now, check this out. Now they got shot in their house. Where is the conversation now? It was all about stirring you up. Order out of chaos. The order is we need to get enough people together for our bidding, for his bidding. That's what it was about. It was never about justice, because they got two people in position that have done more harm to black people than Trump. And if they in position, guess what? You talking about the Biden's law and the woman that locked up women. This woman locked up women in California, not for selling drugs, not for selling or dealing with any assaulting people, for truancy. This sister was locking up other sisters for truancy. Mother at a job and their child hooky in school, and the mother don't know. Well, guess what? Don't worry about it. We're gonna lock your black behind up. And these were the same women that voted her in. Because why? There's no unified voice. If you had a guy that was on the ticket that had some hand in the Holocaust or harm or said something wrong about Jewish people, guess what? All of the synagogues would have all been on code and said, you know what? Get him out of here. We're gonna destroy him before he even get an opportunity to see a ticket, let alone be on one. But then they got two of the most damning politicians who have harmed black people and said, here's your choices. We're going to put them on ticket together, and y'all going to vote for these people against the racists. Why? Because there's no uniform voice out there, no Melchizedek or voice to say, nah, those two are criminals. Those two have harmed our people in the past, and you're going to give them more power? If they were able to do this with lesser positions, what are they going to do in the highest position? Because there was no one there to have us weakly saying, well, no, that's not our choice. Well, what about cop injustice? What about student loans? No, the priest would have looked at you like you crazy. Like, listen, sit down. Student loans? We're not all in school. Cops shooting someone. Let's all come together and be on the code where, guess what? If we're on code under one law and one government according to God, our finances will buy us the police. That's how they do it. Y'all don't know that? Police are actually really, on the beat. They're really low level. On the street, they get extra dollars to do certain things. So you don't vote, or you don't stand up and say defund the police and all this old other crap. No, you do whatever other people do. They get together under one solidarity, religious and otherwise, and they buy the police. That's how the other people roll. I mean, what's wrong with our people? Talking about don't fund the police. No. If we were together, we could fund the police. We funding everything else. We funding the Chinese stores. We funding in that store. We funding in this. We funding in that. We might as well fund those with, in our communities that's wearing the badge. Hey, we'll fund you. We'll pay you. But yet we can't come together.
Speaking of Chinese stores, it seems like we give more respect to the Chinese stores. All of the incidents we've seen over the years, they beating us out the store and, knocking sisters out and, doing all types of things on sisters. And we still give them respect. But in this video, obviously, there was no respect for this black man's business. They set up to indignify, for his people.
Let me tell you, man, it seems like when we go into a Chinese store, we're on our best behavior. Mm-hmm. You would never see a sister twerking up in the store, in one of their stores. You know why? Because that's how little they value not just us, what they see in the mirror. Because the black man is you. And we are you. But we were taught in this society to devalue or think that we or those that are the reflection of us is of less worth. And it has to stop.
Right. And it don't stop with just this example of a restaurant. I know a lot of people looking at this example and believe that it's just about this lack thereof that's given when you compare the two.
Exactly. You with us, Gadra?
Yes, okay, man. I'm here. Listening.
Okay, real quick, before I open up the lines and talk to the people, what we need to find out is, Gadra, right out. How do we establish this unified voice to protect those who want to survive through this? And what are we going to do about the numbers and scores of people who are being incentivized as satanic sentinels who will be used by the power structure to destroy us inwardly? Gadra, I'm going to let you say a few things because right now I don't have the OBS up, so they'll hear you directly through the computer. We're going to just, we're doing it live.
Yeah, man, definitely.
So
Again,
go.
Elder, listen, things here being said, and it's deep, like deep. And let me go back. Let me this one here, right? First and foremost,
Your phone your phone isn't good
yes.
right now, Gaja. Your phone isn't good. Do you have me on speaker?
1 second. Let me.
Yeah.
Is this better?
Well, it's not, but we'll see if we'll see, talk and we'll see how it goes.
Okay. All right. First and foremost, Ella, this is it, right? A lot of things been said, and Ella Lawyer said it just then. You see that respect that we have to have for us, and we're starting with what we are first. That is the first thing that needs to come out. For example, like members of the church bring something out, when the elders bring something out, we have to constantly be defending that, or be of a posture where people looking to come against what is said and what is being taught. And I think that is first. We have to respect our own first. The numbers, like the numbers are gonna drop, are gonna dwindle, because why? Not everybody is going to come on code with what is supposed to be. You with me? There's too much people playing one foot in the what do you call it? What do you call it? The okie dokie? 1 foot in, 1 foot out. Too much people playing 1 foot in and 1 foot out. Really, yo, we need the unified. The people need to be unified on one common purpose, common understanding, and that is the problem. That is a big problem amongst our people. You understand? Look, check it out, Elder. Check this out. How is it that I can come on YouTube, right? That I can come on YouTube and watch any foolishness on YouTube with no interference, right? And then bringing out certain things in the earth. I don't care what anybody said. You can't tell me otherwise, that the truth is not being censored. You with me? Nothing else is being censored. You put on any garbage on YouTube, and that thing will run without itch.
Oh
Smooth.
Yeah.
But you put on the truth. Every Wednesday evening for the past month now, every Wednesday there's a problem coming up with YouTube. Come on, man, give me a break.
And
Gaja,
it doesn't matter where we are, because we've broadcast from 3 separate locations. So and not only that, we broadcast from here with a strong internet for years with no problem. But every time, this time on Wednesday, it doesn't matter where we didn't broadcast from 3 separate locations, only to have it interrupted, stopped in between, buffering, to where we have to keep coming on over and over again with 3 separate locations. Okay.
Yeah, but it's been censored. It's a censorship. YouTube is censoring the truth.
Yeah, it's being censored.
You with me?
Yeah.
That's what it is. That's what's going on. And brothers and sisters need to recognize that and say, listen, the enemy is confederating us to stop this thing from coming out. Yeah. So the longer we stay twiddling our thumbs and fighting against each other, we are doing ourselves a great injustice, a great disservice, because the enemy is confederate. You with me? The time right now for us to be here arguing right now, and it's crazy. It's crazy. Sisters, them need to understand themselves. One of the reasons why man against woman is like if I talk about a sister based on something I don't like with a sister, I become the enemy. Oh, well, why are you saying that? Oh, look at who he's married to. You get all sorts of argument. So how we fix anything? How we going to fix nothing amongst us as a people? If a man can't tell a woman, yo, listen, sis, so you're off. So you need to fix up. If a man can't come and do that, how we going to fix it? We're the only people with this problem. We're the only people with the pit, man against woman, where that's a battle in itself. Where nobody else will experience that. I never see that. I never go anywhere and see, right? Of any nation going against the man. Never mind going against the man publicly. You with me? That's one set. Elder, when you mentioned before about the police force and us coming